Hey guys, how are we doing? Top Table's Steve here. And
And Top Table J.
how's life,
Top
everyone?
Table J.
How is isolation treating you all? I hope it's treating you very well. We've been realizing tonight there must be a lot of people on the internet. Our internet keeps hitting peaks and troughs. So we do apologise if the images go a little bit blurry or the sound goes a bit steppy whilst we're streaming. But just do bear with us. Yeah, we'll have a look. So yeah, I'll hand over to you for a minute, GA.
Yeah, hope
Um,
everyone's doing okay. Let us know you can hear and see us all right. It's another episode of Top Table Live. Episode, we were just chatting, it's episode 33. And considering this is fortnightly when we are on our game, that means we've been doing this probably about 18 months right now, which is mega. But we hope you are all doing all right in isolation this evening. It's been a funny week, and we'll chat about what we've been up to, what we've got planned, what's coming up, and we'll find out what you are all up to. Shall I dive into the comments and see who's in,
yeah,
Steve?
because I'm going to
Steve's on the
open a
beer.
beer. Yeah, I'm opening a beer.
Steve is cracking out the beer. So we've got Matthew Zammit in. He says, evening, managed to join in from the start. Good evening, Matthew. Great to have you in this evening. We've got Tanya T in who also says, good evening. Good evening, Tanya. And Joe Holzman, evening all. Good evening, Joe. We've got ADN in who says, good evening all. Good evening, my friend. Hal Martin says, show starts in 4 minutes 20. And I think we started a bit early this evening, Steve,
Oh
to be
well,
honest with you,
oh
mate.
well. It's not the first
Yeah,
time you've come in early,
we've
mate,
got
is it?
pros in the game now, haven't we? Yeah, true. Nicholas Gardner says, afternoon for me. Brushball says, hi, all good evening, Gaz, you legend. Skullmunch, evening, hope you're well. I am pretty good, mate. How are you and Ruth doing during these crazy isolation times? Rob Camp, evening all. Hope everyone's well. Good evening, Rob. How's things where you are, dude? Green Tree, hello,
I'm
peoples.
guessing it's hot where he
Callum
is.
M27. Yeah, I mean, it probably always is. Hot and awesome is probably what Rob's experiencing. Um, Callum M27 says, evening all. Good evening, mate. Hope you're doing all right. If anyone, I'm going to say it now as well, if anyone's new and it's your first top table stream, make sure you stick in the comments where you're from, what games you play, how you found us, and do get involved. That is the most important thing. Hal is letting us know it looks and sounds good. That's good because I think we've got a pretty big delay between me and Steve, so we'll manage that as best we can. Tanya's letting us know it's good as well. Glyn Seymour is in. The legend that is
Glyn,
Glyn. How you doing, my man?
yes.
Hope you're doing all right.
Glenn's got some good news for you, mate.
Glenberg is in.
Apparently,
Will Pintar is in.
Nando's is opening in Manchester for NHS staff and key workers only. And I'm in a very lucky position that my missus is a key worker, so I'll be getting Nando's next week, I think.
Oh, mate, I hope you're going to drop me some off. I'm pretty jealous of that. That is good. The wonderful Pintar says, evening, boys. And Johnny Josevius says, evening, good evening, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Flying Mammal, waves. Hey, Ruth, hope you're doing good.
Hi, Ruth.
Pintar, Steve. Steve, I'm going to need that wood.
Join the queue, my
Sounds a little
friend.
bit
Join the queue.
interesting, that, Steve. And we've got Jerry Desert at 505, and that's definitely a new name in the stream. So
And
do
that's a
let us know a bit
belting name.
more
I love
about you,
that
mate. And he
name.
says, good evening from New Mexico.
Mm.
New Mexico, USA. It's afternoon here, but that's not the point. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever applies to anyone. Jules van der Dine is, and he says, good evening, all. And Carl Daly says, evening, fellas. Hello. It's good to have you all in.
Yeah.
Dreadnought69 says it's 3:30 p.m. here in Canada,
Wowzers.
and I'm still working. Well, salute to everyone who is still working
Yeah,
and
fair
cracking
play to
on.
you.
And then Rob Camp says, heating up over here now, still good enough for a drink on the balcony in the evening. Yeah, I'm not
Nice.
jealous at all, Rob.
Cheers to
I
you, Rob.
know, I
Cheers
know.
to
Matt
you.
Prescott's in as well. Yeah, man. And
Oh,
Matt Prescott is in, and he says, evening all, how is everyone tonight? So, what should we chat about this evening, Steve? Should we chat about what me and you have been up to over the last couple of weeks, and then we'll just see where the chat goes? As always, guys, do fire some questions or anything you want to talk about or ask the other people in the chat into the conversation. Let's get something going tonight. We're going to hang around for about 90 minutes and talk about everything and anything, because that's what this is about. You can either listen to our dulcet tones while you're painting or get involved. But what have you been up to since the last one, Steve?
Loads. I've been finishing my Osgiliath board, which is pretty much there. I've just put the board around it today, just to finish it off, so it's not just like bare wood. So I've got unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the wood that I normally use for the border. So I raided my work van, and it's got 3-inch PVC trim around as the kind of protective border. So yeah, that's done. I'm gonna probably, whilst nobody's there, to get it out of the way, drop that board off at the studio, and make room
Yeah.
to get my next board started. So I've been doing that. I've also been doing some more work
Mm.
on Pat's Fellowship Commission, and I'm on to the last two now, which is Gandalf and Boromir. Mr. Pat Gaunt, who done our overlay for our live battle reports, which some of you may have seen. If you've not seen,
Okay.
check out the back catalogue and you'll see those. I've also been making.
How much?
Go on. That's fine. Put in. Sweet.
How much do you miss filming those live battle reports?
A lot, a lot. And I've been making these.
Oh man, I would kill to be hanging out doing one of them
I
in
know.
like a busy gaming center right now.
So yeah, can you see what that is? Can you see that?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can see.
Uh,
Sorry, there's a bit of a delay. I can see it now. You got yourself a little hobbit hole.
yeah. So I've been doing some Hobbit faces to go along with the official Forge World ones, because one of the next boards, I don't know if it's the actual next one, but one of the next ones is going to be another Hobbiton board, but it's not going to have bag end on it like the other one, or the party tree or anything. It's just going to be like a part of Hobbiton. And that's it. What about you? What have you been up to?
Loads really. I've been making content for the channel. That's quite rare and new,
Yeah,
isn't
you have. Yeah, I can't believe it.
it? Been getting some videos done. I've got a load more that are kind of in different kind of points. So I suppose making the most of isolation, getting some stuff up that hopefully helps everyone. Obviously, you saw I dropped a hobby vlog this week, showed off my Legion and Batman, and I kind of left it up to everyone else to figure out what I'm going to paint next. And it looks pretty close between Goblin Town for Middle Earth or the Free Folk for Game of Thrones.
Nice. That's cool.
So it'd be interesting to see which one I end up doing. I'm probably going to wait till tomorrow and then figure out which one I'm doing and crack on. So I've got stuff for hobby vlog too. Otherwise, hobby-wise, I've done a lot of like cleaning and organising, sorting out like the drawers of shame and all my different projects and all that stuff. And just lots of chatting to people online and reminiscing about rolling dice, I think, mate.
Yeah. I know how that feels. I've been playing some Middle Earth on TTS. I had a game of Battle Companies the other night against Matt, who's in the chat, and that was it was
Yep.
a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm also getting all. I'm filming all my models in as best high definition as I possibly can, and I'm sending them to a fella called Spencer over in the States, and he's turning them into 3D models and
Nice.
uploading them to TTS. So I'm able to actually play with my models, and everyone else can use them as well. So it's not just like a personal thing, but it's great to be able to use my models to play the game.
Is that why on is that why on the YouTube channel there's loads of unlisted videos of like your models on a turntable while you're busting moves to the Cortinas?
Yeah. There's a few of them where
I was wondering what those videos
there's a
were.
few of them where I'm singing, I think, in the background. I keep getting
Yeah, there is, mate. I was like, I think
I keep getting warnings off YouTube for breaking copyright laws because my Spotify's playing music in the background. But yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be
so
okay.
what? So why don't you tell us kind of what you think and your feelings after using TTS more for Middle Earth?
For me personally, I mean, it's very limited, my experience in TTS. And it isn't a patch on heading down to Element Games, meeting up with someone, rolling dice, and
Yeah, of course.
getting my miniatures on the table and moving them around. It's nothing like that. But as a go between for times like now, it's great because me and Matt played the other night, and we were having a bit of banter, because we have a Discord channel which I'll touch on later if we get time in the stream. But we've got
Yep.
we've got a Discord channel for Top Table Gaming. Anyone can come on it, but it means that you can go off into a private room and just the two of you can chat over the internet whilst you're playing. So it's not just all like text based. You can actually speak to each other, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We had a right laugh. It was good. It was Battle Company, so it only took about half an hour. So yeah, it was great. We've started a Battle Companies campaign, And we're also, along with that, Mr. Pat Gaunt, who I mentioned before, we're using his Battle Company's manager program to track all the stats and everything. So it's cool. It's cool. It's whilst we're stuck in, it's great.
Can
We'll let you.
people can people still get in on it?
Yeah, of course they can. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really relaxed. There's not a great deal of structure to it. But anyone, you don't have to play Battle Companies. You can just come on and play a one-off game if you want, or just come in and chat on Discord. If you want to chat with us rather than texting on the Facebook group, if you want to come in whilst you're painting and actually talk and chat to myself, you if you're in there, Ben, any of the other lads who are playing Middle Earth on TTS, then you can just come in and have a chat or just listen to us talking absolute nonsense for an hour. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Well, I
That's
don't.
what we do best.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd use it after the lockdown because I would much prefer to actually play the game on a table, but I can't do that now. So this is the next best thing, and it's fun. It is a lot of fun. I can't say it's not.
Yeah, I think I was saying to you, I've not tried it yet because I've done it with different games in the last couple of years, and it's put me off the games.
Yep.
But that was back in a time when I could just play the real thing instead.
Yes.
So it's an interesting one. But I wouldn't mind. I don't think I'd play anything bigger than Battle Companies, but I
Yeah.
might have to get you to show me the ropes, and we'll do some Battle Companies this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give it a
I'm
whirl.
actually. I was going to speak to you this week anyway because I was actually toying with the idea of maybe whilst if I get a spare evening, not that I have many to be fair, even though we're locked down, I'm still mega busy. But if we do get a spare evening, apparently all the Star Wars Legion miniatures are on it.
Mate, the Legion mod for Tabletop Simulator is world class. I don't know if you've seen pictures of it. It's renowned as like the best one. It's
Right.
absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And if there was a game I'd play on TTS, it is Legion.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, we'll have a few games of Battle Companies, and you can bust me through the rules of Legion. We'll have a bit of a bash on it. We'll do that. Should we jump?
Sounds fun.
Should we jump back in the chat?
Yeah, you go for it, man. I think the first one you want is Carl Daly at 8:33.
Carl J. Lee says, got a question for you both. What has been the best part of lockdown for you both, non-hobby related? For me, best
Ooh.
parts didn't really spring to
Mhm.
mind, but I think the best part is the fact that even though it's driving me insane, I am now getting the opportunity to be at
Mm.
home all the time with the kids and spending a lot more time with the
Yeah.
kids than I normally would. Now they are driving me
Mm.
mad. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, they're driving me mad, but in a good way. It's really nice to be around them all the time. I'm gonna miss that when we go back to normal. What about you?
It's exactly the same thing. It's getting like obviously single dad, but getting like 4 days a week where it's just me and Oscar, and as much as being stuck at home is kind of in one breath driving me crazy. The amount of quality time we're getting is ace. Like I've had him today, he's asleep upstairs, and
Mm,
we've just laughed and goofed around all day. So if there ever was a silver lining, it's kind of the time I'm getting to spend with a kid. Really, I think what is everyone in the chat's kind of silver lining and good part of the lockdown. Do let us know your thoughts on that. That's a good question, actually.
yeah, it was a good question. Cheers, Carl. AD says, this is a
Mm.
wonderful surprise. I finally finished what needs to be done today and sat down to paint. Opened YouTube 15 minutes ago and saw that this stream was about to start. Well, there you go. We timed it around that for you, mate. We,
Stuff.
we, we knew that you were about to sit down. We thought, let's get a stream on for AD.
We were
um,
thinking about you, mate. That was the plan at that time.
exactly. Andy Till says, hello, lads. Taking a break from dwarves and painting some bolt action at the minute. Nice one, Andy. What are you painting? What is it British? Is it? I am on a couple of bolt action groups, and I think I was seeing someone painted a Spanish army. I think it was, and his paint job was amazing. I really like the bolt action stuff, but I've never played it. Never played it.
Mm.
Glyn says
Yeah.
sitting out on the patio as the sun sets, enjoying a whiskey. Good man.
Aye.
Cheers to you. There you go, my friend. Um, Johnny, I'm going to attempt to say this, Johnny. So I do.
Jasavius.
I put
Johnny runs
Jasavius.
some events at Elements, so
Ah,
I've
right, there
kind
you
of
go,
taught myself that name.
Jasavius. Luckily, you jumped in there,
He's going
Jane.
to
I
tell me
didn't
I've got
butcher
it wrong now, but that's how I say it.
it. Former Stockport native, now in Sandbach, still only up the road, my friend. Painting some Tau for a
Mm.
slow grow while following me looking over at my Middle Earth SPG minis. Hopefully, I can make a local event when quarantine is over.
Nice.
Yeah, of course, mate. Or even don't even wait for an event. Sandbach isn't too far away. Just come over, hang out with us, and we'll play some SPG with you all day long, my mate. Michael
I
Brazen.
think, Steve, as
Yep.
soon as quarantine, just a quick one, sorry, there's a bit of a delay, guys, while we're talking over each other. As soon as quarantine finishes, mate, I reckon we should just stick a flag in the first free weekend and just run an event.
Yeah, I'm game. You know that. You know that.
Like, I just need to run an event.
I'll do that just for the lols and the beers.
Yeah, exactly that. Let's just get everyone together.
Michael Breer's in. Evening all. Good to know I'm not the only one still working. I
Evening, mate.
yeah, it's a tough one. Like my missus, she's at home. She's working from home, but she's still working. She's a key worker. Loads of people like in and around where I live are all still working, but working from home. Nick Gardner, I need to know of a good way to make arrows for models, or better yet, if anyone knows of a 3D file. Arrows for models. Didn't Generation Shift? I'm sure it was Matthew. I think it was. He made them using dress making pins, and he just cut them.
Okay.
And I think he just put like little bits of green stuff on the end, and he said because they're so small, you don't get close enough to see that. You don't have to like sculpt the feathered edges on them or anything like that. They just look like arrows. I'm
Just a
sure it
lump.
was him. I'm sure it's the kind of thing he'd do in it. Um,
Do you know what? That's quite interestingly, like one thing I have been up to this week is I can't stop looking at resin 3D printers online. He's mentioned about a 3D file there. I've been staring at them constantly. So I'm probably going to get one at some point.
yeah, I would get. I just haven't got any room for it, to be honest, and I haven't got the time to learn how to use it. So I haven't got enough time to do what I need to do now.
We struggle with the current amount of technology we've got, don't we? So
Yeah, hence the lag.
yeah,
This hasn't happened before, so I'm
we're
assuming.
trying to guess when each of us stop talking here. I don't know if it's showing.
I am assuming it's just an internet problem. It's not our issue. Paul Kirkham says, evening peeps. Reese Taylor says, how do guys? How you doing, Reese? Flint says, evening guys. Welcome, Flint. Dreadnought 96. What mod are you using for Middle Earth SPG on TTS? It's a free mod. So if you've got TTS, there's loads. So you just go in like I think it's workshop and then the library in the search bar. If you just put MESBG, loads of stuff will come up. And most of the stuff we use, it starts with MESBG anyway, so you'll see it. And all the battle companies maps and scenarios and everything are already on there. It is really, really good. If you're not sure and you can't find it, Dreadnought, get on the group and just put a shout out on the Facebook group. Top Table Gaming Community, if you're not on there, you should be. It's a great group. And someone will hook you up who's far more knowledgeable about it than I am. Green Tree says, what is Discord? And then there's a few people who explain it to you, Green Tree, so I'll just quickly cover it. It's basically, I'm new to it as well, it's a bit foreign for me, but it's kind of like Facebook, but using voice rather than texting, I think. It's like a voice over internet app, basically. You can have little different rooms and different groups in. But it's free, so there's no reason not to download it and give it a go. Nicholas is just explaining about the TTS mods. Dan Nelly, hi guys, second time in on one of your live streams, but first time able to comment. Currently working on Wild Wall Chieftain, what a model, that I started on the weekend GBHL stream with Damien. Yeah, that was a good stream. I enjoyed that stream. I think Sam was a worthy winner of that poll. He's a great model. I've still got him there. I've not finished him. But yeah, the Wild Chieftain's a good model as well, but I don't think he's underrated though. So I'm not sure if he deserved. I'm glad he didn't win it because I don't think he deserved to. Do you want to take over from just where Nicholas Gardner's talking about Discord, Jay?
Yeah, can do. So everyone's chatting about Discord, and then Nicholas Gardner says, I'd offer Jay a game of Legion on TTS. Me and the other 5th Trooper guys use it a lot. So didn't know you were one of the 5th Trooper guys. Love it. Nice work. And I am definitely up for that. And me and you could have a game and you could refresh me on how to play Legion on TTS. And Steve could probably jump in and watch. And then we can take it from there. But I would be super down for that, mate. drop me a PM on Facebook and I'll reply once we stop talking at a camera this afternoon. Danny Wood says, good evening, you two. Good evening, Danny, my man. Hope you're doing well. Jill says, my brother started to hate me after I asked to play SPG 5 times, so I started to play against myself. Yeah, I think the isolation is probably creating everybody playing with themselves more. Sorry, I couldn't resist the cheap joke there. Where we up to? Did Rob Camp, silver lining for me is working from home for the last 4 weeks. It's the longest I've had off work since I started. Yeah, it's weird, because I work from home a bit as standard, and it's something that, because I've done it for so long, I always avoid. So the period up until last week when I was working from home, it was worse than not working and being off, because it was just, I don't know, I struggle working from home, but it is nice, especially at first. Skullmunch, silver lining is FF7 coming out and being able to spend more time on it and not spending money on fuel. Mate, Skullmunch, I've been messaging you about the hours
Weirdos.
I've put into that game in like a week and a half is obscene. It really is. I am loving it. I finished it. I cried. I adore it. It was amazing. And yeah, FF7 is definitely a silver line. I'm very sad we're not getting Last of Us 2 next month, because that was my other kind of... But just started Fallout 76. We were chatting about that the other day. Jerry Desert Rats, same here. I've just been enjoying the time with my 3 sons, and the wife is happy because I've been doing things around the house, such as painting the kitchen. Well, that's it. Like I bet everyone's houses are going to be gleaming when we come out of isolation. I know Steve's been busy doing bits.
Chopping trees down, mate.
I did
Chopping
this
trees down.
behind us. I did this stuff behind us at the start of it. I kind of wish I'd left it a bit longer and dragged it out, but yeah, definitely. Flint 0204. That's where we're up to. There we go. Agree with you guys. More time with the kids has been great. I'm a primary school teacher, so spend more time with other people's kids than my own. Yeah, I can imagine, mate. I can imagine.
Oh, I think you've jumped a bit there.
Rob Camp, weekend.
Oh, right. No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
I know, right? Oh. Am I okay, Steve?
Yeah, you're okay. Sorry, man. Sorry. It's me that jumped.
It's all right. It's all good. Rob Camp says, weekend of 3. Dude, the weekend of 3 would be awesome, but we have no clue what on earth is going on right now, so there's no point trying to plan anything at a grand scale as that, mate. But yeah, it would be cool. Andy Till says, I'm painting Soviet engineers with body armor with a snow scheme. The minis are like, that sounds mega, Do post over in the Top Table Gaming community group, man. I'd love to see them. They sound pretty cool. Carl Daly, I am also loving the time with the little one and also the wife too, of course. It's the longest time we've all spent the day together for 13 years. I haven't drove around the bend. I don't know. Yeah, it's mad, because like it's true what they say. You spend more time with the people you work with than the people that are at home. So it's kind of it's definitely probably helping a lot of people and probably causing a few divorces. What can you do? Pat Gaunt's in. He says, hey all. Pat Gaunt is, of course, I saw in the Patreon group, he is stealth watching this, I think, this evening, but good to have you in, Pat, as always. Joe Holzman says, nothing really changed for me so far. I've not worked any less than I would have yet, but now we've moved into a new rota system. I should have some extra free time. That's good. Glyn has retracted a message. For Glyn to retract a message.
It must be terrible, yeah. It must have been terrible.
Must have been a stinger.
Must have been.
I know. Do you want to crack on from Flint 0204, Steve?
Yeah, he says, quick question. I'm looking at painting Tauriel to break up my batch of painting Moranans and Uruk Scouts. What paint colours would you recommend for her, specifically hair? Rubbish with hair colours. I'm a stickler for box art schemes. I've this weird OCD thing about it, where if I don't do it as it is in the movie, or whatever it is for, the GW scheme is what I try to emulate. Not that I can paint as good as the GW painters, but colour wise, if you know what I mean. It's weird that you asked this, because I nipped out today and I was sat in the van and I was thinking about this, and it was because I don't know if anyone's seen in the group, I put a link to Mr. Soper's blog up about colour theories and things like that, and I also watched a video from Sloan from the Failed Charge Games guys, the Sloan Ranger, about colour theory and picking a colour scheme for a miniature before you start. Long-winded way of getting around to what I'm going to say, but I tend to cut all that out and just copy what GW do. That's basically what I do. I don't think I'm adventurous enough to. I'd be devastated if I bought, for instance, a Forge World model, paid like 25 quid for it, and thought, you know what, I'm going to go with this really like weird color scheme, and didn't like it at the end. If that makes sense, I stay safe. I stay in the middle lane, and I stay safe, and don't
I
swerve from
think
that.
it's a lot easier to do, isn't it, when you were playing like Space Marines don't matter as much, but when you're playing a game that's relatable to a movie that you've watched a million times, like Tariel looks this way.
Yes,
Like there's one paint scheme for Tariel, and that's kind of the one you want to achieve, right?
yes, yes. What do you do for like red hair, like ginger hair?
I tend to either contrast or use inks or washes for, and use like a walnut color, so like chestnut ink, or there's a really good new contrast orange that works really well, and it just does the job for you because it will make the recesses dark.
Yeah,
The top light, it will be quite glossy, so you probably have to matte varnish when you use inks or washes or contrast. But I wouldn't paint it. I'd wash it or stain it in some way from
yeah.
a light color.
Okay. I painted. I can't remember which miniature it was. I've got a feeling it was one of the ruffians, whether it might have been one of the commanders or not. Um, Painted it with red hair, and I went online because I was never happy with any of the red hair that I'd painted before. It was always looked all right, but it was like orange with a Agrox wash, and then highlighting up to like the lighter oranges, like your ochres and, excuse me, things like that. Jacarra orange from Citadel. It just never looked right. It looked like orange.
Yeah.
It didn't look like red hair. And then I searched online and I found a guy who'd done a breakdown of what he did, and he used flesh tones to highlight, like sunny Vallejo sunny
Okay.
flesh tones. And I did it, and it looked great. So flesh tones. So go in with. I'd probably
Sweet.
start with a rat skin flesh, which is kind of, I don't know how well, but with the
Mm,
color grading on the webcam is great, but it's like a sort of a tanny orange, and then I'd wash that with a thin down Nuln Oil
yeah.
or sepia, and then start adding like what's the colour that Citadel do? Kislev flesh. Start adding that to it, and then maybe a bit of
Mm,
pallid witch flesh for your very final highlight mixed in, and it will look good. But try it on something else before you go
all
in
right.
tutorial with it. Is what I'd say. But yeah, try that, man. Try and let us know how you get on with it in the group. Do let us know. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, always share your work.
yeah,
Always.
I love seeing other people's work. It's great. Reese says,
Mhm.
Steve, when you're making your terrain, where do you get your bits from? Wanted some balsa wood and foam board. Was going to build a couple of watchtowers from the Shadow in the East book for a display board. Um, I don't really use materials that most modelers use because I work in the building industry. I always have like weird like stuff. I very rarely use foam board, whatever you want to call it. That's the foam with paper outside. I do have some. I've got like 10 A3 sheets up there, or A2 sheets that I bought ages ago from an art supply shop. But I think I've used it once. I much
Mm.
prefer to use insulating foam than that. And balsa wood, you can just get it on eBay, mate. Just get it on eBay to search balsa wood. Or there is a shop which has everything you could think of, and they basically cater for I can't think what the word is, like architects when they make scale models of buildings. They cater for them. They sell all the. So
Yeah.
you always think, oh, I wonder where they buy them little cars from or them little people. It's called 4D Terrain, I think it's called, and they're in London, but they've got an online store. It's quite expensive though, but they've got everything you could possibly think of, and they have a lot of balsa wood. So try that, Reese. But yeah, but eBay is a good place for
That's good.
balsa. Um, Flint says another silver lining is reallocating petrol money on hobby supplies. Yeah, I'm not. I used to spend about 160 quid a week in diesel minimum, um,
Ooh.
and now we're spending like 20 quid a week. So that's great. That's really good. But I'm not earning as much.
Yeah,
So
I think I was saying to you the other day, Steve, my travel to work is about 20% of my salary, so the furlough for
mm,
me is kind of a very neutral thing.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah,
But you got more
fuel
hours in your
money and
day.
travel money is a big one.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Um, Glenn says quarantine means that I'm now full-time caring for my vulnerable family and neighbours. For the first time, I'm not worried about the lack of hobby stroke game, but rather enjoying just helping people. Yeah, the thing about
Good
helping
man.
people, you get a lot back. You get a lot from it anyway. You get a lot of feel-good factor, and it's money in the bank as far as karma's concerned, Glenn. So keep at it, man, and I'll meet you at the pearly gates when the time comes. James's Miniature Space says, hello, hello, just arrived. Welcome, James. Andermere, is it
Hello,
Andermere
buddy.
or Andermere? A up, better late than never. Thanks for joining us, mate, and I hope I've
Correct.
pronounced your name right. And yeah, guys, again, Jay did say at the beginning of the stream, if you have just joined and you've not been in one of the streams before, or you've been in and you've never really commented, do say hello and just post up whereabouts in the world you are, what games you play, and if you're not bored of typing after that, let us know how you heard the top table. That would be great. Glenn says,
Correct.
hope everyone is healthy and keeping busy. Likewise. MESBG, good evening. Good evening, MESBG. Who is MESBG? That's what we all want to know.
Mate, as AI taken over, this is Skynet stuff. The game now has its own profile. What's that about?
Carl Daly says, I'm not very adventurous with paint schemes. I try to also stay within the GW stroke movie colours. However, with my Theodra's Guard army, I lost the green and went for different browns instead. Excuse me. That sounds cool, mate. Have you posted them in the group? If not, get them on the group. Let me have a look at that. Ian Whitehouse is in, aka Squid Boy. How's it going, Ian? He's joined the Battle Companies on TTS. Flint says, thanks for the ideas, guys. We'll put a pick. Oh yeah, we'll put a pick up when I've done it. Good man. Andermeyer says, I've posted up loads of random minis lately. I think I'm almost out of Middle Earth SPG minis. Only my Uryx left, smashing out Necrons at the minute. What happened to your Necrons, Jay?
Yeah, man. And Andy, say again.
What happened to your Necrons? Your Necron army you was going to paint in a week, remember?
Oh, no, we'll wait for 9th edition now. Waiting for the new edition, mate. Waiting for the new edition. We've got it's coming, isn't it? I'm gonna do custodes because you can do like 12 models and Superman paints them, so they're cool. So that's gonna be me.
Where are we up to? Oh yeah, Ian White says, just watched a YouTube video on Amazon Lord of the Rings. Does GW have any licensing on this? Could this spur a load of Second Age stuff? First off, we don't know yet. What we do know is, just let me move my camera because he's getting a big glare from the light. What we do know is that the Middle Earth team have confirmed that they have been in talks with Amazon, but that's as much as we know. How far them talks went or what them talks were about, we do not know. Fingers crossed, they'll get a license to do it, and we will see a lot of Second Age stuff. That'd be fantastic. But nobody knows, my friend. I think they're trying. GW, it'd be silly not to.
Fingers crossed.
So it's just a case of whether they're able to pull it off or not. But yeah, hopefully. Danny Wood, this is why I love Khazad-dûm. You get to be a little bit more adventurous with the colour schemes.
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah, some of them are definitely built to use your imagination for. That's obviously one of them.
Yeah. Andermeyer says, by the way, I'm Andy Cass. Andy, he's been painting an absolute shed load of miniatures of late.
He's a machine, and it looks fantastic as well.
Great job on him, yeah. Danny Wood, Scrag Brown is, yes, it is really good base for red hair. Glenn says, anybody
Scrag Brown's a really good red brown. I like that colour.
Yeah, I like Scrag Brown. Glenn said, anybody seen the Oathmark Goblin Wolf Riders? I've not seen those. Have you seen them?
Nah. Glenn, throw them up in the group, man.
Yeah, throw them up in the group. I think what we'll do, not on this one now because I didn't do it, but on the last one I did on the GBHL, the stream, rather than have people sending me pictures and posting them up, we just set a thread up on the GBHL group. I think what we'll do before every stream is set a stream thread up, and then people can go back and look at that thread and see what it is that people were talking about in the chat, which would be good. But yeah, we've caught up on the chat, which is great. I think what we'll do is
do we
what?
Sorry, mate. It's anyone who's just tuned in as well. There's a massive lag, so me and Steve are having to try and guess which of us finishes talking.
Yeah, it's great.
Should we talk about the Patreon stuff and give something away?
I think we should, mate. I think we should. Have we got a couple? We've
I
got a
think we
couple of patrons
should
in the chat.
start.
I know Joe's in. Rob's in. Who else is in? We've got a couple
We've
of.
got quite a good few in. So, for those of you who don't know, obviously everything we do here at Top Table is to provide as much kind of quality Middle Earth stuff for the community and you guys as possible. And we've always said we'll never hide content behind a paywall or a subscription service to get extra videos or whatever. But we do have a Patreon, and it helps pay for the studio, which is very upsetting we can't use right now. I went in the other day to grab some gear for doing this. And it just looks desolate and barren.
Looks
but
like it's been robbed.
the Patreon helps pay for the studio, the equipment, all that sort of stuff. And we like to do as much as we can, as often as possible, to give patrons, because they are helping us do as much and invest as much of our time into this as we can. And we do that by different pledge levels, get access to free dice and free t-shirts once you've been a Patreon for X amount of time. There's a private Facebook group where the patrons are always waxing lyrical and chatting all sorts of nonsense. And one of the other things we do is every now and then we will pop up and do a giveaway. So what me and Steve are about to do is, anyone who saw the video I released a video. The video I released this week about my top 5 hobby accessories. They are going to get a selection of those, and we're going to do this super professional and organized. And I'm going to do that, and I'm actually going to ask Pat Gaunt, because he's in the chat, to quite simply pick a number between 1 and 44.
What if he picks himself? Is it allowed?
Then he'll redraw it. No, if he picks himself, because he won't see how I've listed them out. So once he picks a number for us, I will go through and we'll see who wins it. So I wasn't clever enough to take me, you, and Ben out of this, so that might need a redraw as well. I just copied and pasted the attendee list and mixed it up.
Right, okay. So go on, Pat. Give us a number between 1 and 44.
Yeah, but the Patreon is huge for us, and massive thank you to everybody who has been part or is part of the program. The support is just astronomical, and it helps us do what we do. And if anyone's interested, head over to Patreon, search Top Table Gaming, or I'll post a link after the stream on the Top Table Gaming community, and you can check out the different levels and what that gives you access to and stuff. So, he's picked number 32. So here we go. Win a load of cool hobby swag. It is.
It's a great prize.
I know. Alejandro, it had to be the name I couldn't pronounce. Alejandro Aguado Santos.
Nice.
Of course it was that one. So congratulations, Alejandro. You've won yourself a load of cool hobby accessories, as you'll see in the hobby accessories video I released this week. We'll post it up in the Patreon group once we're not streaming, and I'll drop you a PM and we'll get some stuff on its way out to you. So thank you, and thank everyone for your massive support as part of the Patreon program. It's hugely appreciated, and we will be giving you some more free swag soon.
Yes, very, very soon. Ruth says join just for the Patreon chat. Yes, that is one of the things you do get as a patron. You do get popped into our very how can we say, it's like a VIP chat on Facebook, where it's just all the patrons plus us hosts, and we just get to bend each other's ears. Sometimes we'll speak to patrons about upcoming content, and we give them sneak peeks of content that's coming, and they have a little bit of input in the kind of content that is going out on the channel, because at the end of the day, it's those guys that are helping us move forward with the stuff that we do on the channel. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's very, very much appreciated.
I don't know if you saw the post. I put in there the other day, Steve, but I'm going to be doing a monthly video where the content comes from the Patreons as well, which will be exciting and fun.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
More about that soon.
There's loads of... The annoying thing is, this coronavirus thing hit just as Top Table itself was... it was like shedding its old skin and becoming something else. So we just started doing the live battle reports. We have massive plans for that over the summer. Going to other people's events, not even just our events, other people's events, and covering their events over the weekends, being there all weekend, filming the games, interviewing the players, and trying to sort of get across that vibe from the weekends to the people who weren't able to make it or are sat at home thinking, should or shouldn't I go to an event? Sort of give them an idea of what it's like to go. We had loads of things planned, and me on a personal level was really, really looking forward again to pushing 40k again on the channel. 40k is something that I really want to get my teeth into. I've had a couple of conversations with people, other
Yeah.
content creators who are into 40k. And that's all kind of been put on the back burner, but it is going to come. And this is all stuff that is made possible by the patrons. So, and I know it's not just me. Like Ben and Jay also had stuff
Yeah.
that they wanted to get going. I mean, talking about stuff and the channel moving forward and things that are happening now that might not necessarily have happened if we weren't in lockdown, and we're trying to come up with these different ways of creating content that's not too samey and not the same thing all the time. We've got a new show starting on Monday,
Yeah.
which is, we're starting it off in and around the Middle Earth community, because that's basically what we do most of. You know, we're not just a Middle Earth channel. We do, it's probably is 80 to 90% Middle Earth at the minute, but we're not just a Middle Earth channel. We are going to spread our wings. So it's going to start off in Middle Earth community, hence the name Speak Friend, and it's not going to be structured as in, you know, it's every month, or it's every 2 weeks, or it's every week, or it's, you know, every second Friday of the month. It's just going to be as and when we're able to get to do it. So I've got the first two booked in. So the first one is Monday, and I'll be interviewing Mr. Harry Parkhill from the HANGOUT podcast, and Stu from the
Legend.
Out of the Frying Pan podcast. It's going to be a totally different kind of show for us, because I will be interviewing them. I've never interviewed anyone in my life. I've talked a lot of nonsense at people, but I've never interviewed anyone. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We're going to take questions live whilst we're streaming as well, and I think it'll just be a nice way for the community. How can I put it without sounding like an idiot? The sort of well-known names in the community, the most prominent names in the community that are out there, that are doing things to try and pull everyone together. Us getting together and speaking as one is only going to be a positive thing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And then
100%.
episode,
100%.
episode 2, we're going a little bit international, but that's as much as I'll tell you guys about that for now. But you can expect that probably the first week of May. So the first 2 episodes are booked in,
Yeah.
and it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. I know between me, Jay, and Ben, and especially Jay, I will speak to you 2 or 3 times a day about this, where we're like, right, what can we do? What can we do? I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about doing that. It's hard to come up with ideas for content that you think is going to be interesting for people.
Another thing, sorry to jump in, Steve. Another thing that like us lot chatting about as well. It's tough to come up with ideas of stuff to do when you are isolated, and I think at some point, me, you, and Ben have all been doing the same thing, and one of us have had to stop doing X or Y or Z because we've got quite a limited pool of. I can only paint what unpainted models I've got in my house. There's no new miniatures coming. We can't play games, like recorded or non-recorded. There's, other than the GW previews, there's very little new stuff coming. So we're definitely niche down in what we can do. But it's nice because it's, on the flip side, it's making me kind of get a bit more creative with the stuff that we're trying to give. And I think it definitely leans a bit more to the instructional and kind of giving people alternate ways to do things. But it's just weird times, isn't it?
Yeah, it is odd. It is odd. Yeah, I'm going to jump back in the chat.
Shall I jump back in the chat?
It's like I've got an echo.
I know.
Yeah, you crack on, mate. You crack on.
Okay. Again, apologies for the lag between me and Steve hearing each other. I think the world's on the internet right now. So obviously, Pat pick number 32, Flying Mammal says, join for the Patreon chat. You get notifications every hour of the day and makes you feel popular.
You are popular, Ruth. You are popular.
Ian Whitehouse then lets us know that he is now a Patreon legend. Ian, we love every single one of our Patreons, and the support is massively appreciated. Callum M27 is saying, first live stream, joined the Facebook group last week. The Facebook group's gone nuts. I think I did a new members post on Sunday, and we put 35 more people in, and there's like another 40 now already.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's great. There's like over 1,200 of us in there now, and it's a wicked page. So if you're not, get over to the Top Table Gaming Community group. It's awesome. And he's saying, I live in North Wales. I've been playing 40k for years, and I have various SPG models, and want to finally learn to play. Well, you are definitely in the right place, Callum M27. Yeah. You are home. Sorry if I'm speaking a bit weird, by the way. I'm being slightly quieter than my usual loud self because the kids are asleep upstairs. Rob Camp is saying, agreed, get in on the Patreon, guys. Rob, thank you for the support, man. You were one of the first, you legend. Andy O'Meara says, I'll have to join when I get back to work. Ledge. Pat Gaunt says, congrats, Ian Whitehouse, well done to the winner, lucky lad. And Reese Taylor says, that new Necron model made me want to start an army. Yeah, so they teased a new Necron model for Psychic Awakening, and then a model that couldn't figure out if it was a Space Marine or Eldar. But the Necron is just very cool. Plus, it's like spray lead belcher, null oil, green from an airbrush somewhere, and it's done, right? So I look at it. Andy O'Meara, I'll give you a game of 40k when all this blows over. Got a new Satan to roll out and a few other Necrons. Yeah, he painted his, I think it's called like a Annihilation Barge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've
Is
seen
that right?
Yeah,
Tell me if I'm right. My 40k is very limited. It looks mega. And he says, of course, that new mini is gorgeous. Guardians of Wiltshire, evening, Jake. Sorry, I'm late. Well, that's not acceptable, really, is it? Late.
He's never late.
Welcome,
he arrives
mate. Good
precisely when he wants to, mate.
Okay. I knew that was coming. Things are all right, mate. How are things with you? We are surviving. Apologies if the conversation's a bit weird between me and Steve. There's massive lag, so we're kind of guessing when the others stop talking. Alex Baptiste, do you think we'll get a new gambling, and hammer footer mounted, as the gambling footer mounted with the banner is a nightmare to paint? I'm not going to say it's impossible, because they seem to have been hitting Rohan and Mordor hard with new stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think would get it. Again, they are the Pelennor Fields armies. What do you think on that one, Steve?
I'm going to say no. I don't think we are. I'd be over the moon if we did, but I don't think we are. I just think we're moving on now to. I think AMO was the last of the Rohan things that we'll see. I think we're now moving on. They've announced the next source book. They've announced the next source book. I think we're going to see Ents next, and then we're going to start going into the new source book stuff, because they've already shown us the Ranger Captain models. One good thing is, going on about the painting the banner. There's a video coming out this week, I think, Jay, that will be right up your street if you are worried about painting Gambling's banner. Right up your street, my friend. So keep
is that not out?
No, it's not out yet. It's not out yet. I'm trying to see if... Shall I give a little hint? Shall I give a little hint?
Yeah, go on.
Wait.
Tease it.
Oh, look at that. Look at that, eh?
It's a perfectly formed banner.
Look at that.
How did you did that?
I wonder how I did that. Maybe there's a video coming out, guys, showing you how I did that.
It'd be really good if there was like a tutorial somewhere.
If someone's showing you how to do that, and showing you how to do it, and it only takes you literally 5 minutes. Done. Awesome.
What a video.
Awesome. So keep your eyes out for that. Do you want to carry on with the chat, Jay?
Yeah, man, absolutely. So Matthew Zamet says, been following these guys since their GBHL channel days. Nice. That was a long... Well, obviously I wasn't a GBHL channel host, and Steve...
You were on it, though. You were on the channel.
But I think... Yeah, that was on there quite a bit, actually. I saw a video the other day that is easy 5 years old now, and it was a bat rep, me against Giblin, Isengard versus Dwarves, and it was my second game of SBG ever, and all I'm going to say is I wish I looked like that bloke. I look like I met him. It broke my heart watching it, I'm not going to lie. I was a lot slimmer and less grey hair.
We were all a lot slimmer, mate.
Then, so that's probably why. I think it's camera lenses, they've just got wider. That's the only explanation I've got. But no, Matthew, the huge support you give us is massively appreciated. Pat Gaunt says, selfish little plug. Pat, you have free reign to plug whenever you want for all the stuff you've done for Top Table, mate. Battle Company Manager is at nearly 2,000 members. Hopefully with the people using TTS, we can hit that soon. Guys, if you haven't, go and check out the Battle Company Manager app. I'm going to prod Pat to create himself a cool little self-promotion post that you have my permission to put in the group that doesn't have to be restricted to the Tuesday thing. Go and whack a post up, mate, and let everyone know about Battle Company's Manager, because we can get you to 2K. Definitely.
Just put at the top of it, admin approved, though, otherwise everyone else will jump on it. Let's start posting stuff.
Yeah, yeah, do that. Andy O'Mace has got to run, folks. Keep up the amazing work. You keep sharing your stuff, dude, if you are still watching, because it is awesome. And
Take care, man.
Hawkeye9 says, "Why am I the best? Why am I the best Age of Sigmar player you know, even better than Tom Maudsley J? Who's? Oh, it's Gabe. Okay. Gabe is one of our local AOS players. He's a top lad, and he is a post-it who's still working, so making you guys still get your toys. So big shout for keeping going, my man.
I make my postia brew.
Well.
Do you make your postia brew? I make my postia brew.
Do you?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, I'm making my brew. I have plastic cups.
That's a bit weird.
It's not. My post is a legend, mate. Because whenever I've got, we're never in, you see. So when we've got to sign stuff, we have like a secret wink and a secret handshake. He knows where to put it. So I always make him a brew, leave it in a plastic cup, and he gets it. Don't mess about.
Nice. But good to have you in, Gabe. And because I know Tom Maudsley definitely isn't watching, you are definitely a better player. And I sense he's probably going to record that, but whatever. Reese Taylor says, "Free Andy's getting better, Steve." Winky face. I think Reese knows the secret. And Glyn is
Reese
saying,
is in the Patreon group, so he's seen the thumbnail.
Glenn is saying, "Jay, you've got the inside laner element. Is that likely to be a weekend 3 before the end of the year?" Don't know. Do not know. Cannot answer. Sorry, dude. Not planning or hoping for anything while all this stuff is going on. So don't forget, guys, if you're in the chat, throw us any questions you've got. Apologies if me and Steve are talking over each other, kind of assuming when the other's done because there's weird internet lag tonight. But any questions you've got, not just Middle-earth. I think you should all ask Steve if you can have a look at his isolation haircut as well. That's pretty impressive. But if you've got any questions at all, throw them in the chat and we'll get chatting.
Mate.
Do you want to crack on from Guardians of Wiltshire, mate?
I think that's it. I'm good, thanks. Hunkering down and trying to get a fair amount of painting done while still working and pleasing the missus. It's not that kind of stream, my friend. We don't need to know about you pleasing your missus. Nearly got my 52 Haradrim done. Finished 12 more Clansmen and now on Corsairs. Very nice. Very, very nice. They're kind of like...
That's pretty good.
It is. And they're... Clansmen. This is another like Clansmen. I think I've got about 5 Clansmen painted. And I remember thinking I'm going to finish because I've got 12. Because again, I used to collect things in warband size. And I was thinking I want to get them painted, so that might spur me on. I might paint them now. You've just reminded me. Glyn says if Steve doesn't come back after lockdown, we know he's eloped with his postie. You know, he's grim, mate. But yeah, we're up to date on the chat. So I think do you know what? I think we could touch a little bit more on the TTS. Is there anyone in the chat tonight who has joined our Discord group, has played or is planning on playing within the Top Table Gaming community, any TTS games of Lord of the Rings or anything else? Again, we mentioned before, I'm going to try and get Jay to refresh himself on the rules of Legion and give me a bit of a game on there, because basically what the upside to TTS, you know, we're saying, oh, it's not as good as being, you know, in a room with someone, you know, throwing dice on the table and moving models. Is the upside is you don't have to buy any models, you don't have to paint any models, because you just go and download the mod. The mods are all free and you play. So that's the upside. So if there's anyone in the chat who, like I say, has joined our Discord, he's in our group and he's going to play on the TTS, do just give us a holler. Let us know what you think of it. Have you played on it yet? And do you rate it, or do you think it's naff? Let us know. There's no daft answer and there's no answer that's out of order. Let us know what your thoughts are. I'd be really, really interested to hear. But yeah, that'll be good. Pat Gaunt says, got to head off now, guys. Cheers. Speak soon. Take care, Pat. And no doubt I'll chat to you at some point tomorrow, and I will get you the pictures of them Gondor tomorrow, my friend. I've just not had a chance. Every time I stop today, I've got to do something with the kids. Homeschooling sucks. Guardians of Wiltshire says, it takes me to 24 Klansmen finished. You played with some of them at Seven Stones a couple of years ago. Ah, yes. Is that Dewey then? It's Guardians of Wiltshire, Dewey Evans. I hope so, because it's about time you join one of our streams. It's about flipping time.
Yeah, it is. I think
Uh,
it is, you know.
I hope so. I hope so, and I hope you're doing very well, Dewey. It's been too long, my friend, and I might see you at the next at Seven Stones this year if you're going. Jog PLC, apologies. Impromptu bottle of wine on Wednesday month, working from home. Anniversary. Had to spend time with the wife, but much love. Can't can't blame you for
No, good
spending
good
time.
for you to pop in, man.
Yeah, I can't blame you for spending time with your wife on your anniversary, mate. And well done for getting there. All the best. Um, Rob says, I've joined the Discord, have played TCS before for Star Wars Destiny. Recently gave two mates an intro game for SBG, seems easy enough to use. Yeah, I did do a basics sort of tutorial video on how to use it, just to get people going. It's not in depth or anything. It is basically, this is how you can get your miniatures, this is how you set up a game, and this is how you roll the dice, and this is how you move your miniatures and measure the distances and things like that. I have actually learned quite a lot since then, some really good tools. So you can set up rings. There's predetermined rings for like different inches, so like a 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, and it just appears around the model that you've got highlighted, so you can see exactly where they can move to rather than having to measure individually every time to see if they're in charge range of something or things like that. That's really handy. Um, Rob also says, I'm looking to play some games on it, but I think the time difference may get in the way. Want to give some battle companies a go. What is the time difference between us and you, Rob? What is it in Dubai? Are you behind? Are you ahead? We were just talking about this before the stream, weren't we, Jay? I'm having late nights at the minute. I need to try and get back to some sort of normality. I'm staying up till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, like at the moment. So you never know, I might catch you online.
Yeah, it's crazy and interestingly, I've not been using TTS, but I've been playing a lot of card games online. There's for the LCGs, you can play them on TTS and they're phenomenal. But like there's like literally browser based ones. So me and Lord Matt Woods and Chris Hay have been playing a load of the Game of Thrones LCG online, and Chris is over in New Zealand. So like me and Matt it'd be like 9 a.m. and it's 10 o'clock at night for Chris.
Yeah.
So we've been juggling the time differences that way, and I slip into just playing until either really late at night or getting up early to play just so we can cross over with Chris. But that's been kind of the bulk of my thing, and juggling the time zones.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is weird. But yeah, let us know, Rob. Let us know and we'll see what we can do. Sean
We'll
says,
make it work.
yeah, we'll definitely make it work. Sean says, I'm looking to get some TTS games in. I've played TTS for a long time, mainly board games, but I've also played a few minis games. I love it. It's a great tool if you can't get out and play in person. It is. That's what I mean when me and you were talking about. That's what I said. For like times like now, it's great. And like I said, I may not use it after the lockdown, but probably what I will use it for. It means I can go and play people at SBG like Devin Marino or Lockie at Zorpazorp, or someone who lives on the other side of the world who I'm never going to get a game with. But it means that we can actually have a game of SBG and have a bit of banter and just play the game, that because that's how we know each other, through that game. And in real life, it's unlikely we're ever going to get together and play.
Yeah.
So it's really good for that. It's really good for that. Ruth says, want a battle company or at least one-offs. I had to delete Discord, but can come back if needed. That sounds like you got into trouble on Discord, Ruth. I hope you've been nice to people. But yeah, come back. We'll get yourself and Sean on, and it'd be nice to chat to you guys whilst we're on lockdown. And yeah, we'll get a few. Just have a laugh.
Is there an Ent battle company?
I'll get my Ents scanned, and she can use my Ents. They shouldn't even have to build and paint them then. She's got no excuses. No excuses.
There you go.
Dewey says, hit the nail on the head. It's been far too long. Unfortunately, no Seven Stones this year. That's a shame, man. Let us. Yeah. Well, there's no point letting me know what you've got planned, because no one knows what they've got planned at the moment for the rest of the year till we know what's going on. But yeah, we'll catch up at some point, man. Even if you're able just to get over to Manchester for the day. When things are back to normal, you can come and we can film some stuff. You can jump on one of the live streams and we can film a battle report, or you can do one of the live battle reports. Jay will buy you a steak and that'll be all right. We'll have a laugh.
Yeah, Yeah, why not?
Pete says, working from home anniversary. My actual anniversary is in. Oh, you're working from home anniversary, right? Okay, I get you. His actual anniversary is in a couple of months. Okay, okay, I get you now. Matt Prescott says TTS is entertaining for what it is. Works well for playing games with people who don't live locally. Yes. And we had a laugh, Matt, didn't we? It was good fun.
Yeah.
Carl says, if you could create a profile for some new warriors or heroes, what would it be? Mine would be Ranger Cavalry. What would yours be, Jay?
Oh, I know this one. I was actually sat thinking about this the other day. I would create an elite and a mounted option for Arnor because I
Mine,
adore Arnor. I think the
mm,
heroes are wicked. I even like the warriors of Arnor, and I just wish it was a bit more fleshed out.
yeah, Arno's awesome. My answer is very similar to yours, and it's almost identical except change Arno for Numenor, and that would be my answer. More options for
Yeah. Oh
Numenor,
man.
and I'd be all over that. But I don't think we're gonna have to wait too long for that, you know. But we never know. We'll see.
Hood would be cool as well. Like I think you
Yeah,
can look at anything that's limited to like one or two profiles, a bit more expansion into like even if they just did Mahud versions of the what they call the Fat Boys, the Abrakan Guard.
oh, I love those.
Like even if they just took other Eastern Kingdoms profiles and gave it a Mahud version, that'd be
Mm,
wicked.
yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, I think for me, Arnor, it's I've become really addicted to listening to a YouTube channel called History of Middle Earth.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever
yeah.
blocked it.
I have it
Oh
on.
man,
I have it on.
I can't
I
I,
either have that on, or I have at the minute whilst I was building Ascilia, I had the Two Towers audiobook playing through, and it took me from to build
yeah,
that
I
board. It took me from
definitely
the start of Two Towers through to they're just about to get Shelob. That's how long it took me. So it's about 18 hours or something like that.
that's good. I definitely recommend anyone in the chat to go and check out the Histories of Middle Earth channel. He's got one of them voices that hypnotize you, and he'll just his videos are kind of like where was Aragorn during this period of time, or what
Mm,
happened to Thorin's company after the trilogy, or the story of this race in the Second Age, and it's just really nice kind of background noise. And I'm putting in about 4 hours a day with it on loop at the moment,
yeah,
so
it is good.
that's pretty good. I
It's
can't
good
remember
just to
what
have on
time
in the
it's
background,
at.
isn't it?
That's where we've ended up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Rob says 3 hours ahead. It seems people stick to evening games back home. I'm okay to play Thursday stroke Fridays as they are the weekend, but I'm also trying to keep some sort of normality here. 3 hours is not terrible. So when it's 8 o'clock here, it's 11 o'clock there. You know, you could probably, and if you play battle companies, they're only like half hour to 45 minute games. So we could work that out, Rob. I'll give you a
Mhm.
game, mate. No problem. We'll sort that out. Um, Sean says, "Let's get a doubles game in." Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. Um,
Yes,
and
I'm well
no,
up for that.
yeah, definitely. No no Ent battle company. Yeah, I didn't mean a battle company with Ents. I meant it's just what a game, a normal game. This doubles game that we're going to smash you in. You can use Ents. Pete said, "I'm working from home. My advice is to get up and dressed like for work and go about your day. And if you're stuck, come and dig a hole in my garden. Social distancing, food and beer is provided." Oh, God. The problem is I'm gonna I don't know what me and what my missus is gonna have to talk to me about after lockdown because I've done all the jobs that she's been mithering me to do for years. That's that's how our conversations go. Have you done that yet? No, love, no. No. So I've been slammed, love, slammed. Um, Matthew Zammit says, still half hoping that somehow they'll make an Angmar stroke Arnor expansion. Hopes not high though. I, I think I, I
Mm.
think they will, but it's your time scale that you've got to think about. Definitely they'll cover Arnor. Definitely at
I
some
think
point.
it's at least a year away. Like
Mm,
I think because we're getting the Quest of the Ring Bearer, and then I'd put some of the money I have on the next one being Last Alliance. I think it has to be, and then after that, or if not Last Alliance, it's got to be Eastern Kingdoms because of the fact they've pulled like Mahud and stuff off the web store. But I think it may get visited eventually, but I don't think it's in the next 12 months.
Yeah, I don't think it's soon, but I think they'll definitely cover it. Matt says it was a fun game, Steve, an unexpected turnout, but it was a good laugh, and the Rohan dice came through for the win. Yeah, Matt's got these dodgy dice on TTS that just roll sixes all the time. It's really annoying. But I don't talk about it. Pete says, FYI, you're doing Hangouts online. I'm down, but I know nothing about SPG. It's perfect time to learn.
Does it
Perfect time.
matter?
Yeah,
Come and hang out.
yeah, come and hang out, chat, and you'll pick it up. Carl says, could TTS be the way to have a huge nationwide Battle Company League? If someone wants to organise it, I'm sure it is. I don't know if I'd want to organise that. That'd be a nightmare.
You know what's interesting? So one of our locals and patrons, Colm of Drawn Combat, he runs Element and Manchester's local X-Wing community. They're one of the biggest communities out there now, the Sith Takers. And obviously with everything that's going on, they weren't getting together twice a week to play. So Colm decided to run a tabletop simulator league, thinking, it'd be easy to manage. I think he's got 120 players.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. He's got.
And he's literally running. And I think I posted it in the group. You know how hard it is to kind of move 120 gamers around a room for a tournament. I do it for a living. Imagine having to do it when they're all just online at home. Like,
Yeah.
Nah, that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, that's grim. That is grim. Ian says to Pete, "What's the hole for? Something to bury?" Question mark. Well, it's their anniversary coming up. Just saying. Just saying.
I've got a question for you, Steve.
Go on.
But interestingly, and what I'm going to say is, guys, we've got about 25 minutes left, so now you need to spam the comments and questions to me and Steve. They can be about absolute nonsense. Ask us anything you want. But one thing I've been chatting to a lot of people about is, given we've all gained 2, 3, 4, 5, 600% more time at home, are you getting more done or less done than you were? Because I'm definitely, I feel like, getting the same, if not less, hobby done. And a lot of people were saying the same to me. And it's really weird. We've got all this time, yet I'm not kind of getting as much out of it as I thought. How are you finding lockdown in terms of like progress on your hobby projects and stuff?
On my hobby, I've been doing more filming. I've got quite a lot of videos out in the last week. So but that's not my hobby. Hobby wise, probably a little bit less. And I kind of know what I think I know what the reason for that is. When I have been painting, I've either been painting on a stream to do with the stream, or I've been painting somebody else's models because, and anyone who doesn't know, my business has pretty much come to a halt at the minute, and I'm self-employed, so I'm screwed when it comes to getting money. Basically, I'll fall through them gaps of that magical money tree that the government spout about on the TV that doesn't really exist. I won't get political. So I decided to offer some commission painting, and lo and behold, and totally unexpected, I got quite a lot of sort of feedback from it, and people took me up on it and sent me a load of models, and I've got a pile of models behind me here. And I talked to you about it the other day, when I reckon there's about 3 weeks worth. If I paint roughly 3 to 4 hours a day, there's about 3 weeks worth of models there to paint. So I'm all right for the next 3 weeks. But the problem with that is I'm painting a lot, but I'm not painting my stuff. so my hobby stuff, it's
fair one.
So that's my reasoning anyway. What about you? Why do you think you're not doing as much?
I think there's a couple of things. I mean, like Green Trees mentioned it in the comments. We'll get to as well. It's definitely less, and I think I'm used to having to kind of plan and fit in my hobby time. Now I've got big banks of time just that I could just dip in and out and do. I'm kind of like I'm going into the living room and I'll turn the PlayStation on for 10 minutes and then I'll turn it off and then I'll go and do a bit of cleaning. Then I'll potter into the kitchen and then I'll set the paint table and I'll start something. And then again, I'll wander off, and I'm just bouncing around the place a little bit. I think I'm definitely feeling a lack of structure or a lack of having to make hobby time because I've got it in kind of abundance now. It sounds really daft, but I'm not using it, if that makes sense. Because usually, like, I'll be at work and I'll be like, right, kids in bed, tea's done, house is clean. Like at 8 o'clock, I'm going to sit down and do a couple of hours of hobby, and I plan that in. At the moment, it's like I'll wake up and it's like, cool, what am I going to do for 14 hours?
Yeah.
And I'm just like plodding around. You know what I mean? I think that's it, and it's definitely why I was keen to do get the hobby. We all got the hobby vlogs going again because they were always a huge motivator. I mean, the other thing is a big thing that pushes me for games is playing games, so needing the models. So like me and Matt before isolation were playing and learning the Batman miniatures game. So I painted the starter set, and then in my first hobby vlog, those of you watch it, you've seen I've painted like 20 extra models from different factions to give us more to try because I always like to play with just painted models. So not being able to game has definitely, or not having a tournament coming up, all that sort of stuff has definitely impacted on what I get done because I've definitely learned that those are my motivators, I think.
Yeah. 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 No, it is weird, and I can totally sympathise with what you've just said about flitting from one thing to another. And Green Tree mentioned it, like you say, and we spoke about it, didn't we, last week? I was like, I'll be in the house and I'll
Mm,
be doing something with the kids, or doing the bits that I need to get done to keep the missus happy, so that I'm able to say, right, I'm going in the man cave now to go and do some of that painting, and then I'll come in here and I'll sit down for 5-10 minutes and I'll look and I'll think, oh, I'll just go and do that first, and then I'll get up to go and do that, whatever that is, and then I think, I'll just do that instead first, and then I'll come back to this in a minute, and before you know it, it's it's tea time, and then I've got to get the dinner ready for the kids and that, and tea time's done, it's bath and bedtime, and then by that time, then it's late, it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. By the time, and you think, what have I done with my day? My day's just gone, and I've done nothing. I've done absolutely nothing. But the board build did kind of get me back in some sort of structure of starting something and finishing it. The only thing that held me up on that was waiting for like PVA to dry. If it wasn't waiting for PVA to dry, I'd have had that done in a
yeah,
couple of days rather than over the length of a week. Um, it's still actually not
yeah,
100% finished, but it's getting there. The resin looks great. The resin looks awesome. I can't wait to play on it.
yeah. It looks wicked now.
Yeah, can't wait to play on it. But yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question. Should we see what they're saying in the
Mm,
chat? Yeah,
yeah.
Pete's not ruling out burying his missus in the back garden. Um, Green Tree says, um, Green Tree says less. Can't seem to concentrate on one thing for more than 10 minutes yet. Rob says, have to say lockdown has helped me hobby wise. Had never painted before all this,
Good.
but I have since painted 23 ghosts and 2 warbands and Morannons. Very basic standard, but got to start
Nice.
somewhere. Of course you have, mate. Of course you have. And
Yeah, man.
every time you paint something, you're picking up more and more skills, and you're picking up these skills without even realise that you're picking them up. So the more you go, you'll be picking up skills to get to be a better painter, a quicker painter, and you'll find your own style of painting. Joseph B
Yeah.
says, I'm brand new to SBG. I'm really just collecting right now and watching your videos. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Do you think that playing against myself is an effective way to learn? No. Yes and no. So yes, to get used to going through the motions of how the different phases work, but no, in the sense that if you're
Mm,
making a mistake somewhere and it's quite a big fundamental mistake, and you're teaching yourself to play the game, which includes that mistake, and no one's picking you up on it, that could be a negative to your learning process. And then when you play against someone who knows how to play, you might have learned basically the wrong game. Get on Tabletop Simulator, mate, and play some people who know the rules quite well. And then, by all means, once you're picking up these new rules and how things work, and the way the different phases work and things like that, then I've done it before. Now I've set when I've wanted to see how effective a certain model. I remember when the Gundabad Trolls first came out. Um, I basically put a Gundabad Troll against some of Thorin's company on my desk, on my paint desk, and just rolled dice to see how well they fared. I've never played a full game, but there's no harm in it. And if you can't get the games in, crack on. But I definitely say don't just do that. Get on TTS or something, or ask questions, because if you convince yourself that you're doing something right that actually you're doing wrong, and you teach yourself to play the game that way, you might be in for a shock if you went into a tournament or something like that. But yeah, get on the group, Joseph, and there's loads of helpful guys on there. It's a great group. Jog PLC Pete says about the same. I've got Middle Earth. I've got ME, sorry, and I do a quite intensive research based job. So it's whenever I've got the energy, but being at home has made it more enjoyable rather than a chore. I think being in and around your own house does you're relaxed all the time, aren't you? I think that's why I'm so lazy at the minute. That's why I can't concentrate on one thing for longer than 5 minutes. Because you just when I not you.
Do you know what's a really weird one as well to throw into the mix?
Go on.
Sorry, mate, if you were
All right.
talking there. What's a really weird one to throw into the mix is one thing that I felt more motivated about lately is because I work in wargaming, so I'm not around it for 10 hours a day before my own hobby, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of the other way. Like, work was always a demotivator to hobby for me. I mean, it doesn't really back up my theory of getting less done right now, but work was not a demotivator. I love it. It's why I do what I do. But like when I've spent 8 hours talking about Space Marines, I don't want to talk about Space Marines anymore or toy soldiers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That was me just messaging you about something that just popped into my head about tomorrow, but no, I know what you mean. And the thing is, like it's likewise when I've been at work all day working. When I get home, it's like you're in chill mode. Boots come off, you're in the shower. I stick my baggies on, old t-shirt, and then I just either flop on the couch and watch NAF TV, or I come in here and sit in here and paint models and watch YouTube videos, and you're just in chill mode. So yeah, totally get it. Where are we? Skullmunch says, yeah, that's a good way to learn, Joseph. Once you've got the basics down, though, you'd be best to play someone experienced to get to know the more advanced stuff. Or watch our how to play videos. There is a series of them on the channel. They're not complete, but there's enough there to get you going. Reese says, I think it's Final Fantasy J. That's why you haven't got any hobby done. I agree with you, Reese.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah. It might be, mate. Yeah, you might be right.
Carl says, once I'm used to this new role, I'll be able to organise my time better. Big culture shock. Don't know how my wife made it look so easy. Do you know what? I've got a whole new found respect for teachers. Massive respect for teachers. Yeah. Could you imagine having to go to work knowing that you're dealing with like 20, 25 of these little you-know-whats all day, every day? They're a nightmare.
Mate, I'm not going to lie. I've got
They're a nightmare.
There's been a couple of times that I've wanted to hang him off the washing line.
They are a nightmare. Oh, my God. Jeez. They need medals, them teachers. Now I know why they get the school holidays off. I used to say, it's not a job, that really, is it? You get the school holidays off. They need it. Green Tree says, I've worked...
I think they go and do, like, mandated counselling or something to clear their head for 6 weeks.
Yeah. Green Tree says, I've worked the same job for over 20 years, 50 hours a week, so I've got to admit I'm struggling with all the free time.
Oh, just crying in a room together in the fetal position, not wanting September to come.
I know. And he says, never thought I'd want to get back to work. I am looking forward to getting back to work, but then at the same time, there was a little bit of me that thinks I'm going to miss having the amount of time that I've got, even though I don't know what to do myself. Steve Devlin's in. Welcome, Steve. Good to have you, my friend. Joe Holzman says, not strictly lockdown related, but I find I'm less productive when I'm not working on a hobby project. I kind of get that. Once I started, I crack on. But until I've actually started, I often find lots of bits and pieces to fit in first. That just holds everything up. Yeah. I've started to, especially now because I'm doing the commission stuff, I've started to write things down. It's like I printed off. There's 3 of these in my man cave. This one is for channel stuff. So every month I'm just gonna print off a page and write on what's happening. So obviously tonight's stream's on there. On Friday I'm on the GBHL channel stream with Damien, and then on Monday I've got the stream with Harry and Stu. So that just keeps it in my head and keeps me motivated. And then I've got stuff for the commissions, what I'm going to paint, which is on there. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to tick them off. So every day, tick that box off, that day off, and know that I've done it. And if I've not done it, I know I've got more to do the next day. But I'll get what you mean, Joe. Pete says, I'm looking forward to the lockdown end so I can come down and chat your heads off over a beer naturally.
Yeah.
Always welcome, my friend. Always welcome. I'm drinking more. I'm not a big drinker. I'm not like drinking excessively. I've not become an alcoholic or anything like that. But I'm drinking more. I don't normally drink in the week. I'll drink unless like if the footy's on. I'll have a couple of bottles. Maybe get a takeaway and watch the football and have a couple of bottles if it's like Champions League or Europa League as United have been in. But I don't normally drink in the week. But I'm drinking. I've probably a couple of bottles every other night at the minute. It's not great because I don't do any exercise. I really need to do that. Stephen Devlin says, really missing playing Toy Soldiers. Get on TTS, mate. It's not the same, but it's the next best thing. Tabletop Simulator. I think it's 15 quid at the minute as well. I think it's half price. But once you download that,
It's 15 quid, but more often than not, it's usually on sale for like half price and stuff. So
yeah,
just have a look around.
and once you've paid that, all the mods are free. It's like it's user uploaded stuff, so it's not you don't have to pay for anything. And you can play everything.
Worth noting as well, it's huge, and I think it's definitely primarily designed for board games. And playing board games as group. Miniatures is kind of a side avenue people have done. But like card games, board games, it's huge for that, and it's kind of and there's a lot more been put into like heavily automating the way the interactions work in them. So if you're a board game fan, there is a ton of worth in picking up TTS as well.
Yeah, definitely. Joe Holzman says 2025. Don't know what schools you've been to. My school has 35 children a class. Flipping heck. Jesus. Luke Churches. Luke Churches, I don't recognise your name, Luke. I might be wrong because I'm old and my memory's shocking. But if you've not been in a chat before, let us know where you're from, my friend, and what games you play. He says, reference learning the game. I learnt so much from my first tournament earlier this year. Amazing going from playing between a group of 4 of us to then playing against 6 different experienced and nice guys. That is massive. It's massive. I think we've been over this time and time again, and I always try to reiterate it when we do talk about it. I think when you're a new player, I think the thought of going to a tournament is daunting, and I think it's because we call them tournaments. If you ever listen to me talk about stuff that we're doing, it's very rare that I call it a tournament anymore. I call them events, because for me, it's not just the playing of the game that is important. It's everything else that comes with it. The social side for me, and I think I can safely say for you as well, Jay, is number one. Hanging out with people that you chat to every other day, or probably more sometimes than your own family, online, and people that you watch on YouTube screens and things like that. It's great to get together and hang out with them. You're playing the games. Come 4 or 5 o'clock, your games are done, and then if it's a 2-day event, you've got all that evening. It's normally a Saturday evening. Where you can hang out, go and get some food, go and get some drinks, just have fun, talk about whatever you want. But it's normally Toy Soldiers in the circles that we've been in, and it's just a great escape and a great way to learn more about the game. And I'd highly advise people to take the leap and do it. It's great. I would say come to Scarron in October, but it's sold out. Got 90 players. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. There is a reserve list, so can still get you on there. I think, Jay, are you waiting to say something there,
as
Jay?
well about learning the game? I think. Sorry, mate. I'm trying. I have to guess when you finish talking, don't I?
If you start me off, I'll keep going.
It's a pain. Sorry, mate. I'm definitely just jumping on Luke's point before you move on, saying about learning the game and using the tournament. It's definitely a great way of doing it. Again, I'll use the word event like Steve. It's definitely what I prefer. But if I want to learn a new system, I'll look for like a game night or a 1-day event, and I'll literally rock up and apologise to my game 1 opponent who'll probably teach me the game. But by game 3 or game 6, if it's a 2-day event, like you've got some serious experience under your wings, and it's kind of like I treat it like a training day, if you will. And I think it's a great way to get to grips with a new game, and it also means you'll stamp out like interpretations of rules that you play massively wrong in small bubbles or by reading it yourself. Like none of that will seep into your learning, and you'll pick up the game in its kind of cleanest form. I'd recommend anyone get to something like an organised play event to learn a game. It's a great way, and people are lovely. They'll always teach you and hold your hand because it probably also means they're going to get a win.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. For me, tournaments, even though I very rarely get to tournaments these days, tournaments are the reason that I still am interested in this hobby, in this game. Because before I went to any events, I was just sat in my man cave, painting the odd little miniature, posting a picture of it online, and getting a bit excited when people said, "Oh, that's good." But going to these events and actually being face to face, because this is great. What we're doing, this is fantastic. But it's not a patch on being stood in a room or stood at a bar with someone and having a chat face to face. That's why we do this, because it is the next best thing. We can't go to events every weekend. But yeah, totally would recommend anyone who's not been to any events, whether it's Middle Earth SBG, whether it's Star Wars, or it's 40k, get to some events. And especially, there's some really friendly events, even for 40k, which has got a bit of a reputation. I know for a fact that there's some very friendly events. We run one, but not just ours, at Element Games. There's a lot of 40k and EOS events at Element Games, and Jay would be able to speak more about that than I would anyway.
Yeah, 100%. We've got tons of events every weekend. I just wouldn't commit to telling you when anywhere at the moment, because obviously everything that's planned in for every weekend now for the last month and probably for the next month are all frantically trying to find new dates. But definitely check out kind of using Element as an example, the Northwest Gaming Centre's Facebook group. We have a full list of events there, and get yourself to one for whatever systems you want to learn, because it's just the way to do it.
Yeah, and if you're local to an event, there's an event going on locally for whatever system you play, and you do just want to see what it's like, just go down. You don't even have to buy a ticket and play. Just go down and just walk around the tables and have a look at the beautiful armies that are on display and the players that are playing and see the fun that they're having. I very regularly, especially because we do most of our filming pre-recorded stuff on a weekend. I'm at Element Games most weekends when it's open, and there's always an event on. And as soon as I go in, before I go to the studio, I always just make a point of walking around the hall and saying hello to people and looking at their armies and seeing what games are going on. And I do that all the time. It's great. It's a good way to pick up things and see other systems and see how other communities react with each other. I recommend giving it a go. Do you want to carry on with the comments, Jay? Because I'm doing loads of talking and I need another beer.
Can do, mate. We'll see if we can catch up before we wrap up. Green Tree is first, and he says, Steve, any chance of a video showing off your commission work?
Yeah, I'll do a video on it. I did think about that. I'll probably do it on most of the stuff that I do before I send it back to the client.
No, fair one. Rob and Carl are both definitely missing the footy, which I'm sure Steve will agree with. Matt Prescott says, it's the kids, mate. They've driven me to drink. Yeah, fair one. Luke is saying, I'm based down in Hereford with quite a small pool of players, but the guys down at Firestorm and the Southwest Gaming Centre are great at getting a game set up. Yeah, Firestorm's a wicked venue as well. Rob Camp is saying, I'd come back to every event if I had the money. So Rob was a legend and flew from Dubai for one of our events. And it was amazing to hang out with you, mate. Awesome weekend. And hopefully we get to do it again one day. That'd be badass. And Carl Daly says, I learned a lot from playing Battle Companies. I had 4 or 5 games before a kid that never played at all played me. You learn a lot by teaching. It's a game I look back on. Yeah, Battle Companies is a perfect way to learn the game because it uses all the core rules, but just with such a small pool of models that you're not, like when someone tells you an interaction, it doesn't just breeze past and it's gone because you're doing 20 combats a turn. Like everything will stick. So yeah, definitely Battle Companies is solid. Stephen Devlin says that Gileath board is amazing. Steve, will it be making an appearance at future Stockport events? I think I can say safely for Steve that is a definite yes.
Yeah.
100%. And then Glyn Seymour says, to be fair, Element community in Manchester is solid. Yeah, we've got an amazing community for all games, but like Middle Earth is booming right now. Like I think Colin, one of our patrons, set up a Middle Earth Slow Grow League at Element, and I think we were close to 35 players.
Yeah.
something like that. The numbers were mad, weren't they, Steve?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I said this on the stream the
Yeah,
other day. My slow grow isn't a
crazy.
slow grow anymore. I've got about 2,000 points of Isengard up there. I was supposed to be building it as I went. I've just built it all and painted it.
Yeah, we'll come back and we'll be doing like big 10,000 point mega battles
Mm.
because we've got it all. But no, and I think we'll end it there, mate. It's we're about to hit 10 o'clock. We hope you've enjoyed this stream. Again, apologies because of the audio and me and Steve maybe talking over each other and stuff. We've had some weird internet issues tonight, but we hope you've enjoyed it. It's been episode 33 of Top Table. Big thank you to our Patreons and congrats on winning the prize. Great to have you all in the chat as always. We're doing this again in 2 weeks, and then I'll give you to Steve to kind of close this stream out.
Cool. I'd just like to say thank you again, guys. These streams are really helping us on the lockdown. We really like doing them. It's a nice way for us to talk to someone else apart from our children and significant others or anyone else that we're spending our time locked down with. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just going to say, I'm not going to go back into the chat, but I've just seen Dewey has posted up in response to what I said before, and that'd be amazing, mate. As soon as things are back to normal, we'll arrange that. But thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks to all our patrons again. Thank you to who was it who won the Dinky DeSantos won the Patreon thing. Well done to you, my friend. And
Yes.
I will see some of you guys if you're around on the GBHL stream on Friday evening, and then after that I will speak to you again on Monday. But thanks, guys. Take care and keep washing your hands and stay safe. Bye bye.